What's up, everybody? We have Westin here, who's a pretty great student of Major League Profits. He's here to answer some questions and share with you how he's made some pretty significant money with sports cards and a little bit with something we call sports betting arbitrage. But Westin, you want to introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? What even got you interested in this stuff in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Weston. I'm based out here in Florida. Professionally, I'm an engineering manager at a tech company. I was a senior software engineer for about 8 years. So what got me interested in this was a buddy of mine. He's interested in Pokemon cards. He collects them and
Okay.
hobby that he does. He kind of got me roped into it a little bit. I saw the opportunity there was with grading cards. That kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of seeing how I could ramp that up and really scale that into a side business. And I originally started with just Pokemon. So I started a little bit before doing the grading, a little bit before joining. But I knew there was probably a ton of potential with sports cards. So that's what prompted me to join. I've been loving it ever since.
Cool. Well, I'm curious, what was your initial goal in terms of making money? Was it like a few grand a month? Was it to quit your job? Was it just to make anything? I'm curious, what was your goal?
Yeah, so my goal was I think it was to do about 2,500 bucks a month,
Okay.
correctly. I'm trying to remember when I signed up, and that was one of the questions asked.
Yeah, we ask that question because we like to know because if someone says 30,000 a month, we want to tell them, that's probably not possible.
Probably not.
Um,
Yeah.
but okay, cool.
Well,
So
about 2,500.
2,500 a month.
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
trying to replace an income, right? I make good money with what I'm doing, but I just wanted more discretionary income basically from it. So,
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, that's a lot of people. And then what happened next? Did you see an ad? Did you see us on YouTube? What happened next?
like most people, I believe it was an Instagram ad. And then they
Yeah.
just kept
Okay.
rubbing. So,
Yeah, we run a lot of those. So yeah,
yeah,
sometimes people will say, I just clicked on the damn ad because it kept popping up every time I would go on Facebook or
yeah,
Instagram. So yeah,
persistent.
that happens a lot.
Yeah,
So you see the ad, you probably get on a call with someone,
yep.
and I'm curious, you see the ad, you get on a call with someone. I'm sure you did some research. Were you
hmm
skeptical? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you anxious? What were your thoughts before or during when you were joining the program?
Yeah, so I would say with any of these types of businesses, I'm always skeptical because everybody's trying to like get a buck off you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was a little skeptical. Um, but I felt like I had an understanding generally of how this industry and like how the process worked with grading. Um, and I felt like I saw a lot of testimonials and a lot of people around you that had good things to say. And that's really what pushed me over the edge. I sat on the information for a while. Between the time I saw your ad and like clicked through and reviewed your website and your offering and the time that I actually pulled the trigger to join, it was probably about 2 weeks because I just wanted to really marinate and make sure that it was something I was confident in. And then it was fit in line with my goals, right? Of how do I make more money with this? Because I'd been doing Pokemon at the time. Um,
Nice.
and when I pulled the trigger, it was great because I came in with some goals, like very specific goals of I want to expand into sports. So learning sports really quickly. That was a big thing for me was diving head first because it's already hard enough to figure out one trading card, like just the releases and like the different sets and when they come out and what's good,
Yeah.
what's not. Got a ton of value out of that. That was a big goal for me. And then also just scaling it. So, things like your card sourcing and outsourcing stuff to your grading, outsourcing, consignment, things of that sort. Those are things I was really interested in is like how could you actually scale this to be a full-blown business. And that's what made me pull the trigger basically to get in was that stuff.
Yeah, that's probably the most confusing part with sports cards is all the variations in different products because
hmm
it's in because just from the average person, just a random example, like Topps Fire Baseball. Nobody wants it, it sucks, but it looks cool, right?
Right.
So it's what's the difference between that and Bowman Chrome? Well, there's a big difference in terms of liquidity, but from the average person, it looks like just they're the same thing. They're both an autographed card, but there's
Yeah.
actually a big difference. And yeah, when I first got into sports cards, I remember I remember back in the day, I would buy Todd Gurley. Remember Todd Gurley, football
Yeah.
player? for the running back for the Rams. Like when I got into sports cards, like 2015, 2016, he was like the man. He was like the man. And
Yeah.
I remember some cards, like his Topps Chrome and his Topps Finest, which were good ones, would sell like that. But there were other ones like his Leaf cards sucked.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I don't understand. Why can't I sell these? So it took me a long time to understand that. But I mean, you guys just get the information. You don't have to go through the same pain I went through.
Exactly.
But okay, so we're talking now in December. I know you joined the program in August. I know you made most of your money with cards. You made a little bit of money with something called sports betting arbitrage, but you want to go into that, like how much money you made from each? How'd you do it? Like, what were you doing? Were you grading cards? What types of cards you were buying? Go into that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I joined in August. I did a little bit of everything. Most of the money came from grading cards. I think that's kind of my bread and butter. That's my preference personally. Um, the sports betting arbitrage stuff I also made money in, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't a great fit. I'm also in a state where there's not a lot of US based options. So a lot of it was
Yep.
overseas and just wasn't a huge fan of that sort of setup. Um, but some other people might be more comfortable with that. So, but in terms of the grading, uh, I did a ton of Pokemon. That's what I knew, right? Immediately jumped in and got set up with a card sourcer. He was my saving grace and in terms of time because I was
Yeah.
spending
They're
two,
use
three
they're
hours.
useful, right?
Oh yeah, it was a game changer. He was I was spending probably like 2 to 3 hours a night almost every day, just like sifting through cards. And I hired his name's Angelo. I pay him like $50 a week, and now I just do like 30 minutes a day, and he does the rest. And most of that 30 minutes is just reviewing his cards. Um, but to get to the
Want to
numbers,
explain what that is? What is that, a card finder? I mean, I know what it is, but just explain what it
yeah.
is.
So basically, it's a person that you pay weekly, monthly, whatever you want to pay them. You give him a list of cards that you're looking for on maybe like eBay or something, and he goes out and finds your cards for you. Um, so instead of you sitting there having to scroll through eBay and figure out, do I want to buy this one or is the condition of this card good? You're basically outsourcing that to somebody else. So then I like to look at it almost like sales, as you're just getting a lot of leads from this person. You're getting high quality leads. So you're probably not going to buy all the cards from your card sourcer, but you're going to get a lot of high quality leads so that instead of you having to manually go through 400 cards, let's say, he's doing the 400 cards to give you the 40 that are the best. And then you're probably buying the 20 that are the best of the best in that group.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
was a huge one, especially for the cost. The ROI on that is significant.
Yeah. How much do you pay him? $50 a week, you said, and then how many hours per week does he work?
50. I think I got him on 10 hours right now. So it's just a
Okay,
couple
so
hours a day.
$5 an hour you're paying him.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
think
paying him
so.
a good
Under
salary.
20
Usually
hours
people pay
actually.
how
It's
many?
probably 20 hours actually.
Oh, 20. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, the
So I
card
had him do
finders are
40
huge.
hours and it was like I was getting too many cards. I
Yeah.
just showed
I had
up.
the same problem happen to me. Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah, seriously. So I was like, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing I did before. So
Yeah,
I
you
typed
get
them
too
down.
many.
Um, and they said, hey, we're gonna go down in hours, but I want the quality to go up. That was the trade-off.
Yep.
He was sending me a lot, but I was like, there's a lot of stuff in here that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So just focus on the higher quality ones. We'll pull the hours back down because he was running out of stuff to find. It's like there's only so many new
Yep.
cards.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
That
that
makes
was
sense.
great. Card
Eh,
source is amazing.
Gotcha. How much money did you make? And you've been doing this for 4 months. How much money did you make from cards and from arbitrage in terms of like profits?
Yeah, so from arbitrage, 3,000 net. That's after like all the fees and everything that come with that.
Yep.
Then with the cards, I'm at 7,000, which I took about a month. I haven't done any cards since any buying at least since October. I had a hurricane come through that was
Yeah, that was a nasty. I'm in Tampa, so
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah, I'm sure you get it then.
yeah. I got lucky actually. 2 weeks before that big hurricane, I bought tickets to Mets Phillies Game 3 playoffs, and my flight left at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday, and the airport closed at 9 a.m. on
Oh
Tuesday.
man,
So I
you got
got
lucky by the skin of your teeth.
I got lucky. Which town are you in Florida, or which
I'm
area?
over in there's a small town called Ormond Beach. It's just north of Daytona.
Okay, got
On the
where.
coast.
Is that on the west side of Florida or the east?
That's on the east.
Oh, so the
So it's
the
if you
east
take
side of
I-4, if you take I-4 straight, well, I guess it would be I-4 east technically. It will take you up
yeah.
basically where I-4 ends on the East Coast.
Oh, the east side of Florida got hit bad too. I thought it was only the west side.
Yeah, dude, we got hurricane force winds here and just like a ton of rain. I had flooding in my
Wow.
house. Not inside of my house, but because my house sits up. But my garage is down lower on my property. It got about 6 inches, and then the deepest part of my property got about probably thigh deep, between knee and thigh
Wow.
deep.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Over
I
here,
can go back for like
Tampa.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, Tampa
That's
doesn't
brutal.
actually get too terrible, but next door, St. Petersburg gets
Oh yeah.
destroyed. Just
Oh
got
yeah.
destroyed from the hurricane.
St. Pete's
But
neighborhood.
yeah, but back to the card stuff. So I'm curious, out of the 7,000 in profit you made from the cards, which card, like one individual card, made you the most amount of money? Like, what card was it? Where'd you send it for grading? How'd you buy it? What'd you pay? What'd you sell it for?
So the card I made the most money on, it was a bit of a stroke of luck because I bought the card and then the value just like doubled between the time I bought it and sent it in for rating,
Well,
which
it's
is
better to
sick.
be lucky than good, right?
Exactly. So that actually ended up being a Pokemon card. It's called Charizard EX, card number 199. Um,
Yep.
I bought it for like 100, and I think all in I was at like 132 or something, and I sold it for $600. And I had two of those.
Nice.
And
Why'd it
then
double? It doubled, really?
yeah, I went from in a PSA 10, they were pushing about $300, and they went all the way up to, I think they peaked out at like 650, but I caught when it was coming back down, sold it for about 600. So
Nice.
I had two of those. I had two other cards that did the same thing. It was a Mew EX, same thing. I got it for like $140, both of them, 140 each, and then I sold them both for I think 550 and 575. Um,
Nice.
and then the
Nice.
next best, most profitable, if we're just talking about numbers, not like percentage wise,
Yeah.
probably a Victor Wembanyama card that I had. I don't remember which card it was, but there was one that I bought for I think a couple $100 and sold it for about 500 also.
Nice. Nice. I just got done doing like a YouTube video, and I think Wembenyama is one of the worst purchases right now, like long term. Like long term buying his stuff already graded because
Yeah.
his base PSA 10 like 6 months ago was like $500. Now it's
Yep.
80, which is
Yeah.
insane. But like I just think the Spurs have no shot of winning anything anytime soon, and there's just a better chance he gets injured than there is of the Spurs doing anything. And I just don't think he has any
Yeah.
hope for his card. A good player, obviously, but I just think card value,
Yeah.
terrible purchase. Good
I'm
for
sitting
grading
on one
though.
card. I'm sitting on one card from him, and I'm like, I probably should just dump the thing, but I'm at break
That's
even
fine.
at this point.
Yeah,
So
did it 10 for you?
yeah, it tend. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm like,
that's why we always say sell before the season.
kind of got
There's
screwed though because I bought them on eBay and then the guy didn't ship them for like a week or two, and then
shit.
they had to sit at authentication for a week, and then I got them, and then you see what I'm saying? Like
Yep. Yeah,
a 4 weeks.
sometimes you have the good luck with the Pokemon stuff and then you have bad luck that happens too. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So, but that's the thing I
I've been
do love
there.
about Pokemon is like I don't have to worry about what the Spurs are doing or him specifically. It's just
It's stable.
card is the
Yeah.
card. You know what I'm saying? So I do probably 70% Pokemon, and then I do sports also. Um, but Pokemon's been my bread and butter, so I kind of stick to that lane mostly.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. There is no like people always ask me like, what's the best card to buy? What's the best place to sell cards? And like it's just like, are you buying the right shit? Are you getting it graded as a tenning? Like because like there's students that like only buy sports cards and only buy and sell on Facebook. There's ones that
Yep.
only do it on eBay. There's ones that only
Yep.
do it on Instagram. There's ones that, like me, do it on Facebook, card shows, and buy on eBay. And there's people like you that only do Pokemon. It's like it all works. Which one are you the most comfortable with? And you're just doing the right stuff. You're buying the right types of cards at the right time. Are they in good condition? Are they tenning? You're gonna make money. Um, there's no silver bullet to business. There never is.
Yep.
But cool, and I'll leave you off with this. So 4 months, about $10,000 in profit. Let's
Mhm.
say someone comes up to you on the street and they're like, I've seen these ads of Eric. I've seen the idea of making money with sports cards. Sounds like a scam. What would you say to that person? I'm being selfish here, by the way. I'm asked. This is going to be a promotional piece of content. So, what
I'm
would you say to
a
that person?
I'm a data person, so I would pull up my spreadsheet and show them my eBay sales that show that it's not a scam. So I track literally everything that I buy and everything that I sell and everything I grade. It's all on one sheet, so I can see it from the time that I buy it all the way through grading to the time it sells. Um, so that's what I would do. I'm a huge person of just leaning into data. So I would show them and be like,
Yep.
look, if you want to say this is fake, you're more than welcome to, but I live in reality and this is reality for me. So
That's part of the reason you do well because you're a data person. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get students to fill out their P&L trackers. And yeah, I'm a huge person of data too when it comes to like major league profits or advertising stuff or sports cards. Like, how are you supposed to know what's working if you don't track the data? Like, for example, we just like a huge data discovery we made in like not with sports cards, but with major league profits is we discovered that like people from 28 to 34 years old with
mhm,
major league profits, we were spending about 20% of our ad spend to those people,
mhm.
but we were only getting about 10% of the total cash back. And that was being made up for with people from 45 through 54. They just like the idea of making money with sports cards more and buy our program more. So like we cut out. Are you under 34?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Oh yeah, so like we don't advertise to people your age anymore. It's only 34 plus because people not obviously you're a great student, but we discovered
Right.
people
Oh, I
under
get it. You're,
34 were
yeah,
one, they just don't have as much money to spend, and two, they actually weren't as good of students for the most part. Not everybody, obviously, but so
that's
but
interesting.
we would only know that from data. Like sports
Right.
cards, like if you keep track of all your data, you'll look like, I'm making most of my money from Pokemon and less from sports cards. I'm probably better at Pokemon. Why don't I just stick to that, right? But people
Exactly.
just try to guess and pray and hope and think, but uh, you know
Yeah,
money's
it is
bad.
everything. That's what I would say. Like, that's a tip I would, unsolicited tip I would give is like track as much as you can. Data is everything. That's your guiding light, honestly.
Yep, numbers are the one thing that don't lie. That is
Yep.
true. But Weston, I do appreciate you coming on, man. We'll give this a post to on YouTube, Discord, here in the next few weeks. But man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Eric. Y'all have a good one.